Adam Brody, Nobody Wants This premiered in September. How many times have you heard the phrase hot rabbi since then?
Oh, more than I planned to, for sure. Yeah, a lot more than I planned to.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't counted, but it's in the triple digits at least.
At least. We'll
Yeah.
get into the quadruple digits before season two, probably. Well, what has this reception of the show been like for you?
Lovely. Lovely, wonderful. Very, very surprising, very gratifying. And I really can't think of a negative. It's maybe it'll come, but I don't know. I've been doing this a long time, so it's not like it's surprising, but I feel acclimated to, the business, the ebbs and flows. So it's nothing that, um, I don't feel ready to handle. But it's just really lovely. It's really lovely to have people respond to your work, have people feel good because of your work. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to think of a more gratifying thing in this job.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know Kristen Bell said she immediately thought of you when she was reading the script, and she reached out to you first, right? So how did she pitch the show to you?
Well, she didn't, her and my longtime agent are friends. My agent's wife has been her longtime stylist. I know her and Dax through work. We're very, very friendly, but always through work. And So I heard from my agent that she brought it up to him, and then, and he said, just, keep an eye out. And then funny enough, when Fleischman is in Trouble was airing, or maybe, after it had aired, but was still around, I got a voice text from her and Dax just saying nothing about this show, but just, and I don't get voice texts from them. I don't get phone calls from them. So this was out of the blue and just saying, oh, you're so great on the show. We just watched it and and I thought, I know what they're up to. I know what this is about. And I was, flattered nonetheless. And then, sure enough, a few months later, a script did arrive for me. Yeah, but that was all the contact her and I had about it before I agreed to do it. She wasn't lobbying me hard. She was working on my agent more.
She was playing the long game. It was very subtle there, just laying the groundwork for you. Like,
Absolutely playing the long game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've also heard you tell the story about the first time you guys met. It was also through your agent in his car,
Hmm.
right? And she was in the trunk
Yeah.
area.
I
I need
believe
to know
so.
more
Yeah,
about
he
this
had a
ride.
he had a two-seater
Okay.
car, and we were leaving a screening and going to, I believe, an after party or a dinner or something, and she got a ride with us from, one to the other. And I guess wasn't in the trunk, but stuffed herself into the space that isn't a seat behind these seats, somehow, or maybe it was kind of the middle back. I don't know. But yeah, that's how we met, and yeah, and she doesn't remember, but feels that tracks.
And then she's like, one day I'm gonna get him cast opposite me in a
Yeah,
com
she
TV
found
show.
her rabbi then.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what were your initial thoughts when you got the script and you read it, and what were you thinking about the show and Noah?
I thought it was, incredibly well written, very charming. I loved the misdirect of him being a rabbi. When you meet him, you don't know he's a rabbi. She doesn't know, and her, and the audience don't find out until he's literally exhaling pot smoke. And I thought that was very funny and very hooky. And I thought that'd be a very fun thing to play, both a romantic, sort of traditional romantic comedy, and also have this whole other kind of quasi high concept backstory, and would have and with a lot there for me to dig into as an actor. And so yeah, there was only 30 pages to go on. I mean, that was all that was written, and the rest of it wasn't, it was very loosely sketched, but it wasn't was very fluid and up in the air still. And so I met Erin and had a great meeting with her, liked her a lot. And just decided to take a chance. I thought, well, I mean, it'd be lovely to work. I really like this short little script I got. I love Kristen. I really liked Erin, and it was just you know, worth trying.
Hmm. But they both have said that they were kind of slightly concerned because you're kind of picky when you choose your roles. So how picky are you, or what are you looking in a project if you're so selective, or do you try to resist some
Um,
like?
I sort of dispute those claims, even though I find them flattering. I think that I'm opinionated, as most people are, but I think I'm definitely opinionated, but I'm also a practical actor and pragmatic, and so I'm going to go to work, sooner or later, and it's not like I am resting on my laurels and not work. I have, I like to work, number one, and number two, I have rent, and or a mortgage. And so yeah. But listen, I'm flattered that they thought maybe I wouldn't do it, you know.
You're so hard to get,
Uh
you know.
yes, yes.
Well, you're Jewish, but I know you were not really religious growing up, and you've obviously played many Jewish characters before, but nothing like a rabbi, so faith-based. And do you think like your whole career was leading to this, leading to you playing a rabbi?
I mean, yes, it's sort of the role that I've procrastinated a lifetime for. I was bar mitzvahed 6 months late because I didn't know what I needed to learn yet. I was slow to study. And yeah, I mean, but no, actually, to take, I find this very, maybe ironic is too strong a word, but surprising. No, I didn't know this is where I was headed. That I didn't, while I was raised, while I am in point of fact Jewish, and I was bar mitzvah, that was sort of the long and short of it in terms of my upbringing. And I didn't even, I went to one bat mitzvah, because I didn't even grow up with hardly any Jewish people. And it wasn't really till I got to LA in my essentially 20s and started acting that I even really had many Jewish friends. Um, and started to recognize that part of myself more just behaviorally, if you will. I mean, I don't know if or um culturally, I suppose, ways that I had been absorbing it my whole life, or that I didn't realize, and started to embrace that side. Not the religious part, but just the cultural part, and found a lot of Jewish role models, both, in person or just in literature and film and whatnot, that I didn't have growing up. But still, no, the fact that my two most sort of famous characters um are very, in different ways, but very identifiably Jewish, is has come as quite the surprise to me. And with this, I was worried that, am I the right person to represent this? Am I the right person to represent a religion and a culture and a race, and not that this character is for sure representing that for everyone. I just, but in the world of our TV show, um it did feel like a responsibility, and I that I didn't take lightly. And I don't know, I mean, thus far it's worked out, so I'm happy to say that, if there was an audience I cared about for this more than anyone, I wanted Jewish people to feel happy about it. I wanted them to have a view this in a positive light, and that was important to me. And I think by and large that seems to be the case. So Hopefully
Yeah,
that'll
it's almost
continue to
like
be.
you felt like maybe like an obligation to get it right. And
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
obligation to get it right, and more just like to get it positive, more than even right in terms of any technical sense or or any truthful sense. I just wanted to have a positive be a positive representation. Get it right in that sense. And
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
that was my goal.
So what was the theme of your bar mitzvah that was 6 months late?
Themeless. No
Themeless. It
theme.
wasn't Adam
Yeah.
Brody takes a bite out of the Big Apple.
No,
No.
no. It seems like a real waste
Yeah. I guess
of
that's
an
what happens when it's six
opportunity.
months late.
Yeah, I was
Mean,
like, I've already grad. This is like, this is, yeah, this is perfunctory, or this is, it's like going to grab your GED after everyone's graduated because you had a few credits you needed to grab
yeah.
or something. Yeah, it felt anticlimactic. That's
Yes.
the
Very
word
good.
I was
Very good.
searching
You
for.
found it.
Yeah.
Well, you and Kristen obviously are friends, and you've played love interests before and also exes before, but this is like a
Yeah.
whole other level here. And, I'm sure everyone has told you guys about your amazing chemistry, but when did you guys realize shooting the show that you had this chemistry? Did you realize it while you're shooting, or is it like when you watch a cut after?
Yeah, when I watched the cut, I didn't realize, but while I was shooting, I'd worked with her before. I knew we have great rapport, but as I'm doing, I remember specifically after we meet at this dinner party and I'm walking to her car and it's this long walk and talk and it's probably the most bantery of like the show. We've just met and now we're really having a conversation and you know, um, and in my own head, not all take every take, but part of me was like, oh, how obnoxious are you? Just so obnoxious to myself. I'm thinking, God, are you being revolting right now? How obnoxious are you being in your charm? How, am I gonna gag? And but then I saw it and I was very pleasantly surprised to love it. And did in fact find it very charming and chemistry laden. And so yeah, I didn't know till I saw Cut.
Mm. Well, Kristen has also talked about how good you are at staring into people's eyes. So what's the key to a good stare as a romantic
Oh
leading
wow.
man?
Um, geez, I think what she means by that is like someone who feels confident enough or vain enough in their, you know, physical appeal, I guess, to kind of stand naked in front of someone, figuratively speaking, or literally, I guess, Um, I think it's just like there's yeah, that's kind of what I mean, but I don't know. The key to a good stare beats me. I don't know. I don't know. Stare and I'll tell you this. You make a lot more, in my experience, you make a lot more eye contact acting than you do in real life.
It's true. Yeah. Not that I'm an
I
actor,
mean,
but I think that's
yeah,
true.
no, yeah. I mean, in even when people are driving in a movie, they're not even looking at the road; they're just staring at each other. But yeah, it's very intimate, and I mean, I always thought it was a kick to work with like actors who are if I've worked with a few like revered older actors, and in real life, I'm very different. I almost have my head down. I'm talking to them. I don't want to bother them. But when we call action, like I get to stare at you. I get to stare in your soul, and it's an access to someone that you don't normally have. And so I don't know, but yeah, there is no key.
Hmm. Well, going back to what you were saying before about the confidence, I think you really see that in your guys' first kiss.
Yeah,
Because Noah
yeah,
is just, telling her, put down the ice cream, put down your bag. And he's just like bossing her around,
yeah.
basically, like telling her what to do.
Stretch first. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it really builds up the anticipation
Uh-huh,
of the
uh-huh.
kiss. What was it like
I
shooting
had
that?
we had a disagreement that the women won where I felt like, and it's cut to a minimum in the episode, so it barely registers, but it was like, put down your ice cream. I'm like, sure, for sure. Let's do that. And then he says, put down your bag. And I'm like, it's this little bag. We're on a street. We're going to kiss with our eyes closed for a minute here. Like, does she have to put down just the impracticality of it? I thought, well, now I'm worried someone's going to steal her purse if it's sitting on the floor as we're making out closed eyes and on this, semi-crowded street. And I just, I pushed to not do that. But Aaron and Kristen were insistent that no, we like him being bossy. And never mind the impracticality of it. And so I said, okay.
We can
And I
suspend our disbelief for that. I think
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
because
And
he's
it's
like
still
emotionally available and you don't really see that kind of portrayed a lot
yeah, I mean
in
it's yeah, and I think, I mean, look, the purse is cropped out of frame. There's some other angles where you'd see the purse sitting on the ground there and maybe go, wait, that's what's going on. But I think it's pretty much a non-issue. It's pretty much out of frame, but I still stand by that it's a impractical thing to do if you want to keep your belongings.
yes, very true. Well, one thing I love about the show is that Noah and Joanne are not in their 20s, and I don't think you guys ever say in the show specifically how old they are, but I'm guessing like probably 30s. But was this the age is something you guys and Erin discussed? Because I do like that
Ye-
they're older, and the scene
Yeah,
was not about like a will they, won't they, or miscommunication type of thing.
yeah, we did. We never nailed down their exact age, but I'm sure that, you know, everyone creatively, I think, feels like, yeah, they're late 30s, even though Kristen and I are not. And we are mid 40s, in fact.
You don't
And
look a minute of it, so
that's what people say, but I feel
it's always the feeling, yes.
I feel mid 40s. And so yeah, it was a concern. I think it was a bigger concern for me. It's almost self-conscious where I just go, look, I'm this age and I want to account for the miles he has on life and I want to account for the baggage and I want to really account for the fact that he's single in this moment. And you know, at the end of the day, we just kind of went with it. What was on the page, I don't think we ever and it turned out people don't care, they even like it. It turned out that I think people found it both they're unconcerned, both they're not so concerned with the minutia of that. And also I think it's like, no, it's affirming, it's appealing that like, no, you can absolutely be in your 40s and still have not found the person, your person um and yeah.
Hmm.
And so I think it turned out to be an asset in many ways.
Yeah, sure. Well, and
I mean, listen, if I could turn
yeah,
back the clock and be 3 years younger, I would. But
just
I
three.
can't do it. Yeah, I mean, by and large, this is my favorite stage of life. You know, it's a lovely stage.
Hmm.
Or you know what? We'll just pause right now.
There you go. Can you stop time? I don't know.
I I'll work on it.
Yeah, we need to do it like a time heist, like in
Yeah,
Avengers Endgame.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in the finale, Noah ostensibly chooses Joanne over his promotion to head rabbi. Like, how much of this has he thought through?
None. I mean, I think he thought it was going one way, and I think if he thought, and if it didn't go that way, then he would have to, then it wasn't going to work. But then confronted with it not going his way, thought, changed his mind and thought, no, the man chooses love. And which I concur with, but of course that's not the end of the question. Because, there's much to grapple with in terms of not just his career, but his life choice. And with anyone, you can have differences, but when are the differences so great that it's not compatible? Or when are the differences lovely and complementary? Or
Hmm.
when do you merge and you're different, and you come to sort of have some of the same beliefs and habits or life choices as your partner?
Hmm. Well, what do you know about season two?
I'm very little, blissfully. I don't kind of want
You
to
don't
know.
want to
I
know?
no, I don't because I mean, I'm happy to hear a tidbit, but it's like if I really know, then I have to get to work, and I don't want to get to work. You know, like um, if I really know, then I'm gonna have to start thinking creatively, or I'm gonna have to start worrying about stuff I'm not sure about, or and I don't. I just like it's going great. They're doing it. I'll see it later.
You just wait for the
Everything's
script to come
great.
in. Yeah.
Everything's great. Yeah, I'll get to work then.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, finally, since the holidays are upon us, what would Noah think of Chrismukkah?
Blasphemy. No, I
And
think he
Ina would
thinks.
not approve at all. So
I think. What's that?
Ina would not approve at all.
No, I think he would think it's lovely, and it's for other people, and it's a lovely way for mixed households, or even if he would prefer look mixed households do them separately, so you don't bastardize either one. Regardless, I think he would find it a positive. But in his own life, I can't imagine he would do it. Even if there's a world in which he also would have a Christmas tree and happily do Christmas and happily even attend a church once in a while, Blue Moon. I just don't think he would um, mash up Hanukkah in that way because he takes too seriously the ritual of it on its own.
Yeah.
But
Maybe this
I
will be a
think
season two plot line.
yes, the
Yes.
war over Christmas.
Yes. There you go. We already
Yeah,
wrote it. So,
done.
well, Adam, it was great speaking with you. Thanks so much for your time and congratulations again on the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.